Welcome to Love Where You Live, a podcast where we have conversations about why it's awesome to live in Boulder County. And today, I'm very excited. I know I say that a lot, but I'm super excited today to be with Jeff. I meant to ask him beforehand, Jeff Kagan.
Nailed it.
Thank you. Jeff Kagan, and you may not know his last name because usually you hear his name together with his beautiful wife, Paige. Yes, we are here with one half of Jeff and Paige. I'm so excited. Jeff, thank you for being here.
It is a true pleasure to be here with you and Rocco, your dog.
Yes, Rocco is here for those of you that will see us on YouTube eventually. You'll see Rocco. If you're listening just audio, Rocco is here in position getting some love. So, Jeff, this is awesome. I was saying this, we were talking a little bit before we started recording about why I do this podcast, and I want to lead with that. It really specifically is to meet and get to know better people that are in this county and love this town. And, you know, when I wrote a list down originally, you made the first list because really, in my mind, who loves Boulder more than Jeff and Paige?
Boulder's been really good to us as well, so I'm honored to be on your short list, and I'm honored to have a conversation and get to know you as well. I've seen you at our shows with your two kids for a number of years, but this is our first time sitting face to face in a basement with a dog.
I couldn't have said it better, so I won't try to. But here's the thing. In case you aren't, because I take this for granted because my world is sort of surrounded by the world that intersects with yours. In other words, open space, outdoors, kids, and music, and all this. Like, I interact well here, but just by way of introducing, if you're not in that zone, if you don't have kids, perhaps even, you maybe don't know Jeff and Paige, and this takes you outside of a big sphere of people who do. For fun, just tell folks that are listening, what is Jeff and Paige in a nutshell?
Jeff and Paige, we are a husband-wife children's musical duo focused on science and nature. This is our 21st year of performing, and we do all of our music is focused on themes of local wildlife, sustainability, getting outside, photosynthesis, pollination, insect anatomy, tectonic plates. So we do skits and songs that make science and nature really fun to see and listen to. That's perfect.
I think that's a great summary. And so, okay, with that's the intro. So Jeff Kagan, I'm here with him. We're going to talk for a little while, but we're going to do as I like to do and go back to the beginning because I don't know this. Actually, if I had to guess, I think you're from Michigan.
You are just rolling with it.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so
Michigan is correct.
So tell me, just quickly, Jeff, and then might have to release Rocco. Tell me about where you grew up. What was it like? What were you into as a kid? Just a little bit about pre-Boulder Jeff.
I grew up in the suburban wilds of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Had a beautiful childhood. My parents, Bev and Dave, they still live in my childhood home. My sister, Lisa. And I loved stuffed animals. I loved cooking. I loved riding my bike, playing basketball in the driveway. But I will say what I did not get a ton of exposure to was wilderness, nature, camping, hiking. And so when I came out here to Colorado, like so many Midwesterners do in my 20s, I was in awe that I was looking at mountains out the window every day. And I still try to remember that too. We're really lucky in Boulder. Even for those of us with kids who don't get up there every day, it's just an enhancement of life to look out your window and see and know what it feels like to be in those spaces.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It is so spot on. Okay, so I don't know. I've never been to Grand Rapids, and if you need adjustments, just do what you're doing there. But okay, Grand Rapids. So city life, more or less. Is it a pretty big city? Medium city?
It's the second biggest city in Michigan.
Okay, so
it's a big city. I lived in the suburbs.
Yeah. Okay.
Not extremely dissimilar to Boulder.
Okay.
And Yeah, I'm actually
Yeah.
heading back there in a few days, so I'm still very well connected to that area.
Okay. And so you mentioned your sister, younger or older?
She's 4 years older.
Okay. And you guys grew up just goofing off, kind of normal, I'm guessing kind of like 80s child. I don't know, we're probably similar-ish age, but like run around, on the streets, shoot and hoop, like you said? Is it?
Yeah, we were outside a lot, and there were a lot of kids in the neighborhood, so I did get a lot of that, and I think about that a lot with my own kids, that they're not outdoors that like we send them outdoors, but the neighborhood kids aren't playing outdoors right now, so I do see a little of that.
Okay.
Compared to my childhood that I would like for my own kids. And Paige is actually starting that in our neighborhood right now.
I love that.
Just inviting kids that maybe we don't know that well into our backyard and just setting out all the toys.
Oh, yeah.
And switching off houses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back to that a little bit too. I love where you guys are currently living. So here's a question though. Sorry, your mic just,
keeps drifting.
I know. You know what? I'm really sorry. So you might need to tighten that joint.
I love a mic stand, so
I know.
I'm just going to play with this for a moment.
You just keep playing, and then as long as, So apologies for the tech difficulties. This is the Dungeon studio. But okay, so because I'm always fascinated to find out, like, you're super creative. Your songs are awesome. You guys do amazing. And I'm sure there's a lot of collaboration there with Paige, but did you grow up playing music, or was it all?
No, I did not. I definitely grew up singing. My dad and my mom have always sang a lot around the house, but I started playing guitar when I was 20 years old. Okay. After a breakup in college and an unemployed summer. What a great thing to do. Pick up the guitar to deal with heartbreak and monotony.
Okay.
And I worked off of a book that I still have of chords for all the Beatles songs.
Oh my gosh, good for you.
Yeah.
So yes. All right. So all right. So growing up as a kid, more sports, you said basketball and that, but really not even, just kind of normal kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Not even a ton of sports.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a kid who liked to be outdoors, but never really got deep into it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I want to jump and sort of skip forward ahead. You said you first came out here. College was where? Out
in Michigan.
Out of Michigan.
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Oh yeah.
Spartans, all right.
Spartans. Yeah. Okay. So you're Michigan State, and then what brought you out? So if you're there, you're Midwest. You mentioned how much you liked it when you saw it, but what brought you out to Colorado?
Yeah, you're right. The mountains kept me here, but a best friend from high school was attending CU, so I'd come out at spring break, visit him. I was like, "What? You get to live here? And he took me up the Flatirons that first March I came out here, and pretty well hooked from the get-go.
On visit. You were here on visit, and it was like, boom, I'm going to have to come back there.
Came back the next year, and then after college, took over his sublet.
Yes.
And
is that right? Where did he go? He left.
I forget where he went.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm sure he went somewhere fantastic. I'm glad he did.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're fresh out of college, undergraduate degree, so 22, we'll say.
I was 20. I turned 22 in Boulder in May.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good stuff. And
First summer.
And you rolled out here, and you're taking over the lease. Where do you remember where you lived?
Oh yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, maybe you know the name of it. It's one of the taller buildings in town. I believe it is. Is it
1850 Folsom?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You said tall building. That seemed like I was a magician.
Yeah, I didn't know how to put it, but yeah, I was a different demographic than many of the other residents.
100% elevators and stuff, and Wow.
Great ping pong table.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. So you were I love that. Okay, so you were there for how long did you stay there? This is just
that
fun.
summer.
Okay.
Yep. And then while I was here, I was looking for a job focused on something outdoorsy because I thought, like any Midwestern kid, I'm going to go to Colorado. I'm going to work in something nature oriented, which is now in retrospect, it's extremely difficult to find a position. I was very underqualified, but happened to fall into a job with the city of Boulder, open space and mountain parks.
Incredible.
Right place, right time, right guy. My mentor, Steve Mertz, who has always believed in me, in Jeff and Paige.
Okay.
And he gave me a shot, and
That's fantastic.
started doing trailhead outreach that week.
You know what? And this I did know a little bit. So tell me about that. You are honestly just here, and you want to work in outdoor space, and you work. I mean, good name for Boulder OSMP, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. You're there. Open space and mountain parks. You're in.
Yeah, and that's the end of the story.
And that's it. Well,
we're
thanks
still
for
there.
joining.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you later.
This has been Love Where You Live.
Let's go play with Rocco. Okay. All right. So the job itself back in, you said how many years ago? 22?
This is 2001.
Okay, 2001. So 23 years ago.
Yeah.
You start doing this. What does the job first look like? And in 2001.
It looks like an underqualified 21-year-old kid sitting at a table at the Sanitas Trailhead next to the stinky dog poop
Oh, yeah.
bin.
Oh, for sure.
Handing out trail maps, reminding people that they need to have a leash, even though it's voice and sight control.
Wow.
Sitting next to a taxidermied coyote and learning so much through awkward conversations.
You know what's probably really cool was I moved here at the same time you did, I think. Manda and I did. And I would be willing to bet that I ran by
I'm
you
sure
one
you
day.
did.
Because we used to be like, Sanitas, you can run up this mountain right here with our dogs.
Yep.
And they were moderately well controlled by voice and sight. So plus or minus. All right. So I like to get this in. Can you tell me, and this is fun, I think you'll have this, the first time you actually, so maybe it was when you're driving in, obviously it was spring break or something to visit your buddy. The first time you actually saw Boulder, you set eyes on it live and you're coming into town or you land or whatever, or it was nighttime and your first experience here. Can you recall it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think for many of us, it was a flight, so I didn't, because it was the spring break, so I didn't have a chance to drive out here. But it's coming down 36 or west on 36 when you get past that rise on McCaslin, and you first get your view of Boulder County. We were actually hired by another realty company to write a Boulder jingle.
Oh, no way.
And that viewpoint makes the song. It says, Highway 36 West, crest the rise. You got to see it for yourself to believe your eyes.
See what I'm talking about, folks?
Yeah.
This is Jeff. We said he should have had his guitar. He brought that up. I wish he had. That was beautiful. So no kidding. That was your, okay, carry on.
Yeah. And then you roll down. I believe that I was immediately taken to play disc golf.
Okay.
Yeah.
On Valmont or something?
No, because that wasn't. It wasn't there at the time. It wasn't even Harlow Platts.
Well,
there is. I know you were. I know part of your podcast involves hotspots. There is a course on the campus that is passed down only through oral tradition.
Is that
the great tradition of elder disc golfers passing it down to younger ones? So you have to be shown the course to know where the holes are.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Secret.
Yeah, it's
on
fun.
Campus, as
on
in
campus.
CU.
Yeah, and I would highly recommend waiting till either a weekend or a student break to play there. It's not advised during class season.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that tells me nothing. No, that gives me curiosity because now I'll have to explore that. I've never golfed the discs, but I should. Yeah. It seems fun. Okay.
Yeah,
so you're fun. All right. That's amazing. All right. Good story. So you're first. So then we kind of come back to you're here. You've got the job. You're sitting at Sanitas, and you're. It's just you. It's Jeff and no one right now, right? Like it's Jeff and
did not know Paige yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's the job? You like it? Is it just like I found my passion, or you just really hasn't chiseled that out still?
They were long days outdoors. It felt really cool to be connected to this community, to this very unique organization that protects, close to 50,000 acres, meeting a lot of the park rangers, the staff. But the job itself, they could be long days. It was a watch looker at times. Yeah.
We've all had that job, Jeff. Everybody, hopefully.
But it really helped me get generative and learn how to speak to people, learn how to be creative, and most importantly, like sitting there trying to figure out, because the job is essentially sharing with people how amazing this place is.
Sure.
So coming up with different ways to express the love and appreciation for what we have here in Boulder.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I bet you were great at it.
Not so great at first.
At first, I bet you were terrible.
Yeah, it was a little awkward.
You were like, isn't it pretty here?
Yeah. Well, how'd you do selling your first home? I mean,
No, I mean, selling anything. The thing, well, what makes it though, and this is why I would say you'd be great at it, is when you believe in the product, whatever it is, be it a home or be it an open space or a community, or, selling the idea to your wife to go out to dinner. You have to really believe in what you're selling.
In it.
And the more you believe in it, the more you love it, the easier it is to sell.
Yeah.
And so I could see you getting your groove pretty early.
Got my groove. I learned very quickly. It wasn't told to me, but I was like, oh, as people are approaching me on the trail, instead of facing them, I should be facing the mountains.
Okay.
And beholding it.
That makes sense.
So those conversations near the end of the summer went a lot better.
Okay.
But then, I took off for a few years, and then the next summer I was back was 2005.
Okay.
And that same boss, Steve Mertz, he has a beautiful wax tip, curly gray mustache.
Wonderful.
And he gave me the chance to design and lead, programs for the public.
Amazing.
Under the open space banner.
So this is kind of fun. I want to hear more about that, but before I do, you left.
I left.
And so tell me a little bit about that, because people do leave here. Was it driven by something interesting, or?
I went to, I did AmeriCorps for a year.
Oh, awesome.
It was traveling. I just wasn't ready to stick. I was 22 years old, a lot to be seen, and went nomadic for a while.
Cool.
Even when I started coming back, those were impermanent stays. They were for 3 or 4 months over the summer season to reclaim that job with the city.
Understood.
Which was seasonal.
Okay, so that was a summer job. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When you left, were there a couple highlight places that you stayed that I'm always just kind of curious, kind of in the second where you came from story.
Where I went after I left Boulder? So many places.
Yeah.
Some of the highlight places, in AmeriCorps, one of our projects was a 3-month stint at the Honolulu Food Bank. Okay. So that was just amazing, a completely different experience of life, and not just a vacation either, like interacting with that community, living in a not so nice apartment near Pearl Harbor, and biking around the island. So that was special. And then started working seasonally, not during the summers, but in the fall and spring. Okay. In the Adirondacks.
Oh, nice.
At a place for those who are local, that we have Calwood here, where schools come up for a week. And there's a place on the East Coast called Nature's Classroom. Okay. So I worked on Lake George in the Adirondacks.
All right.
And that is when I really started to love figuring out how to bring in song and theater and teaching and upper level vocabulary into some of these, combining that with the antics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you've got that so dialed right now, because it is fun to see you do that kind of goofy, the antics with something that's serious and big words and interesting. So you can't. So and now let's get you back. So Adirondacks, you're there. 2005. What made you say Boulder? Done it a few times, love it, got to be back there for real.
Jeff, it wasn't. It was Jeff and Paige. What has become Jeff and Paige? It was performing music about the surrounding environment.
Oh my God!
And then seeing those kids in town, that kept me here. So that summer of 2005, I came back. I asked my boss if I could, start a weekly children's music program up in Chautauqua Meadow. Yeah. And that program will be in its 21st year.
Meadow Music, right?
Meadow Music. And it's called Meadow Music because it literally used to be in Chautauqua Meadow. We would hike up the Chautauqua Trail. We would set out blankets kind of on the edge of the trail. Sure. We were surrounded by incredible natural beauty. And I would do, 20 or 30 minutes of classic kid songs. But somewhere near that end of that first season, I was like, why am I singing about
Puff the Magic Dragon?
Or just African mammals and oceans and we're surrounded. So I started working on songs that actually suited the environment that we were in.
Okay, so you were doing still nature-themed stuff, just not specific to Boulder. I got
Not specific to Boulder. The first one that I wrote and tried out at that program was the Bobcat Walk, and we still play that song.
I know.
It's like, yeah, it's... I don't necessarily stand behind the lyrics, but there's something about the rhythm and the cadence and just how well Paige's Bobcat character has been developed over the years. It really works.
It does, and it does, and it sells a good shirt too, because I've got that Bobcat shirt upstairs in my son's room. Okay, so now you keep saying when did you meet Paige, and how did she kind of come into the fold here for Meadow Music and the like?
Excellent question. Let's bring Paige into the discussion.
Come on,
Paige, come on in metaphorically. Paige and I met in graduate school. Right after that summer when Meadow Music began, so the fall of 2005, I began a field-based environmental ed Masters of Science program called the Audubon Expedition Institute. So field-based.
Oh, wow. Okay.
25 students.
Oh, wow.
Biodiesel school bus, like all the seats in the back ripped out. Library put on, tents in the belly of the bus.
It's like the magic bus.
It was a magic school bus. 3 faculty, 25 students, and Paige was one of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we didn't start dating until after the program was done.
On purpose?
No, we were both dating other people.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Even though you had to sign commitments that said you would not engage in such antics.
Oh, my word. Where was that based? Where did that bus drive from?
The program, which... is that program is accredited out of Lesley University, a teacher's college in Cambridge, Mass. But we were never there. So semester 1, Pacific Northwest. Semester 2, Desert Southwest.
No way.
Semester 3, Atlantic Seaboard. Like backpacking trips as part of the curriculum. Very cool.
That's the coolest degree ever.
Yeah, and she had gone to CU, so she came back here. I had a job waiting for me. And came back here as well, and she started coming to see some of those early concerts, and it was very, very soon apparent that as she was doing hand motions, that kids' eyes were drawn to her kind of kinesthetic enactment of what I was singing about. And I think at first she was like, ooh, I don't want to distract. And I was like, no, come on up here.
Wow.
Yeah, I can remember her doing the Bobcat claws. And then very soon after, like acting out the parts of a tree and, kinesthetically acting out photosynthesis, making roots to suck up water, spreading leaves to take in carbon dioxide and sun, and having kids following along with her, not even being instructed.
That's so cool.
So, yeah, and we started performing together and dating each other at the same time, and it was an
jump right in.
Absolute mess. Yeah.
Totally. Of course it was.
A beautiful mess.
Beautiful mess.
Beautiful mess.
I love this.
Yeah.
Okay. And so are we still 05 or was this trickling into 06?
This is 2007 now, after the grad program, degree in hand.
Okay.
Back in Boulder.
Yes.
Still working for Open Space. And yeah, I mean, I can kind of now you've gotten the backstory, and I'll give you some bullet points.
I love it.
We both quit our full-time jobs. She was teaching at New Vista High School. I was teaching full-time for Thorn Nature Experience. And we quit our full-time jobs in 2011 to start doing children's concerts, long before we had a mortgage or children or even a working vehicle or anything. Just doing, private shows in people's backyards.
Yes.
And then, what are some other bullet points worth sharing? We incorporated as a nonprofit in 2022, kind of in response to COVID.
Yep.
That has made a huge shift. This is our 3rd year as a nonprofit, and it is really helping us. Like
the Rainbow Socks.
Rainbow Socks is is the official name of our business, because that's what we wear at every kid's concert. And yeah, this is we hit our 20-year mark last year, and we're still going.
That's amazing. Well, the thing is, I mean, I'll say this. I felt like, again, observing and interacting, you guys pivoted well because we were all going through that what the heck, obviously in 2020 and into 2021, but you started coming into our virtual. Like we were able to, it was never nearly as good as being in person.
Yeah.
But you guys really pivoted well in that time to bring us Jeff and Paige and some interaction and some stuff for our kids to learn and enjoy. I mean, I remember sitting there, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in Jeff and Paige's living room.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm in my living room. So that was really cool. I thought
We
that was
were
fun.
all in our living rooms.
Exactly. Yeah. But that was nicely done. So obviously you've grown from that. So, okay, if we look at this in 2011, quitting your jobs, going full on, clearly immediate success and amazing, and you're just, just like ruling the world. And now tell me about that though. I mean, it's hard to start a business. Also husband and wife, which I do.
Yeah.
With my wife, with Amanda, she and I, we love it. But for you guys, has it been, what are some of the challenges there running a business here in town together?
It's connected us in ways that I can't even imagine. Just to be performing with one another. I can't tell you how many times we've gotten in arguments on the way to shows, and then we're like still in the fight. We roll up, and then we start setting up. We may be fuming, and then halfway through the show, there's like a moment where we look at each other and we're like, it's done.
It's done.
It's
That's
done
cool.
so much for us.
That's cool.
And it's because of the children. They are the most honest audience. So they just snap you right into the moment.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to maintain a grudge against your spouse or think about your to-do list, or it's really hard to do anything other than what you're doing on that stage. And I can tell you, like, there are aspects, of course, of
for sure,
anything that make it tricky, but I will gladly play the same exact set list for the next 20 years over and over again to different audiences of kids. And I will say we switch up our set lists. But if I was required for some hypothetical reason, I would do that. And I just like seeing how it lands with different groups of kids at different times of day in different settings, indoor versus out, 9 a.m. versus 5 p.m.
For sure.
And we having this business together has nearly broken us and re-cemented us deeper and deeper on countless occasions.
That's beautiful.
I love sharing it with my wife. She has in a business sense, like, I'm really good at packing and unpacking. I'm really good at responding to emails. It's rare that you will see Paige respond to an email. She probably hasn't even seen your request to come on this podcast.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
She knows about it.
Yes, she's aware.
But she has a really good sense of the vision, of the financial side of things, and just the benefits that continuing to do this bring to the world, bring to us, and
that's fantastic. No, it's good.
Love performing with my wife.
Oh, that's good. Well, it's nice to hear you say that, and I can really feel the essence of that, because when you're out there, you do sense that. Like, we do feel that. I've been an audience member at countless places, like you said, various times of year, various venues, and you guys just put the love out there. Like, you could tell you love the subject matter. You love what you're doing. You love one another, and you love the kids. And it's you can't fake that. And so that, I want you, in case you ever forget, we all feel that. And it's out there. You're doing a fantastic job with it.
Thank you, Michael.
Of course. I mean, it's really true. And so let's say this, and we were talking about this, and this is kind of fun for me. We're talking about, like, just give us maybe 2 or 3, 5, whatever, things where we may see you, including what we were talking about earlier, where you were on Monday, what you're doing, Meadow Music, just some of the places that you guys perform. I think it's fun to share.
Some of the places
or venues or programs or just anything, like some of the stuff that you guys are involved with. Maybe what's this week and next week look like? Okay.
This past week we were at your children's elementary school.
Yep.
Uni Hill Elementary. We have this fantastic partnership continuing with the city of Boulder, where they will pay us so that we can offer programs in schools at no cost to the schools.
That's so cool.
So up and coming, we'll be at Columbine Elementary in North Boulder, Flatirons in Western Boulder. We have a little time off for the Thanksgiving holiday, and then we'll be doing a holiday show up at Chautauqua.
Yes.
And then our once a year Jeff and Paige Hanukkah concert, where Lot Command comes out of our crawl space. It's this giant foam head affixed to a bicycle helmet. It's our most awkward, unwieldy, ridiculous costume.
Okay.
So, but then it's all seasonally dependent. So if you'd asked me in the summer, we'd be, at nature centers.
Sure.
We'd be in fields.
Yes.
We'd be doing library summer reading programs, Boulder Creek Festival. And we've had these partnerships grow and grow with so many city departments, local cities, not just Boulder, but also Louisville and Lafayette and Lyons. And there was at some point where I was just like, because we did at some point think, oh, why aren't we, receiving more attention outside of Boulder? And if I could just talk to that person, that Jeff from like 15, 16 years ago, who is fishing for more, be like, just do it here.
Yeah. Okay.
Just stick here, and make a difference in this community, interact with kids. And nowadays, like, I can't tell you how many times where, after an assembly in South Boulder, we've stopped for a coffee at the Walnut Cafe, and a carload of like high school seniors from Fairview will be like, "It's that Jeff and Paige!" Just get selfies with all these. I just think it's so beautiful.
Yes, and they saw you 10, 15 years prior.
Exactly.
Yes, and we're regulars. Oh, that's beautiful. No, I think it's huge. I mean, you've made a huge impact in a relatively speaking, smaller area versus what could have been a diluted impact, or who knows, on a large venue. But I think that's cool to and Boulder. This is why we're on this podcast too. It's like, love where you live, and you guys do love where you live.
We do love it here. Yeah.
Okay, so just some fun stuff then that ties to that. You mentioned kind of Paige and you inviting kids to the house and where you live. You guys are at a super cool spot, and you had an event there that I took Zane to, and we went to the backyard and then outside. Tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind sharing. Just what was that actually, that event? It was like a members gathering or something, or what was that? Yeah,
I think it was, we had a few events in our backyard during COVID.
Maybe it was that.
It was either like our first concert after the dust had settled in 2020,
where
we invited.
But anyway,
it might have been the taping of a live stream.
Something.
Anyway, are you curious about?
I'm just
our
curious
place,
about like some of this. Spot? Yeah, more or less. I mean, just kind of like what you guys love about that spot, and I know you love open space and nature, and how that works for you currently.
Fantastic. I can tell you that our place is perfect for us, but I didn't know it at the time.
Okay.
And I left the heart of Boulder kicking and screaming when we stopped renting, and we were ready to buy, and we realized, that we had devoted ourselves to the community, but we couldn't afford a place in Boulder with a yard. We had a 4-year-old at the time, so we really wanted a yard, and we came out to Gun Barrel. For those who don't know, it's named after the old stagecoach trail, the Gun Barrel Trail.
That's pretty cool.
And I remember the Flatirons just looked so far away from there. But we took a tour of this home that was bordering a field. It was, and the field was 3 doors down from a little stream that bordered a small open space area around some lakes. And I never knew how content and quiet it would be out there. So I'm very happy in our current space.
Okay, that's beautiful.
I'd love to say I chose it consciously.
Yeah.
But I think it was there was some discord within me when I was forced to move away from Boulder. I was angry.
I get that. No, I get that. I think, we had a conversation about this once. If I remember correctly, you were like Goss or something. Weren't you like down?
Yeah, Goss Grove.
Yeah,
good memory.
Yeah, I have a weird memory for this thing. But I remember, and Amanda and I felt that same thing for a while, where we were like, we're in Boulder. We want to be like proper cruiser bike distance to everything. Walk to this.
Yes.
Pedal a one gear bike. No effort right here. And then as you grow, I think you do start not necessarily grow, but as part of that growth and part of your sort of life changes.
Yeah.
You realize that there's a lot of amazing spots that offer so much different stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool. Well, I do feel your pain though when you leave, and so. But this is kind of cool too. You guys ride your bike. At least you. I've seen you.
Yes.
You have like a cargo bike or an e-bike or both that you get around on.
We get around on it beautifully.
Everywhere, right? I mean, a lot.
I love that ride too. It's a gorgeous ride. So that's been some of the benefits too of just you saying like, I want to be in cruiser bike distance, and for me, it's even doubly so because I put songs out there about bicycle riding and renewable energy.
That's true.
Yeah, but having so when when I'm on that bike and I pass that intersection, it's at Iris and 47th, right as Iris shifts into the diag, and then you can turn onto Independence Road past the little Boulder Airport. I just feel a different opening up inside myself of just like, I'm entering more of a countryside aspect. And
you know what? That's so cool.
Yeah, it's nice. You have it out here as well. It's just, it feels open and the views are broad and open. So I think the thesis statement is that you just like, you find your joy, but
I think you're right. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And that's very fair. So, but I think the other part of that thesis is there's really no bad place in Boulder. I mean, in Boulder County.
Yeah. And
I didn't used to, before I got into the business I'm in now, we rode our bikes and ran everywhere, but I didn't really know them. And now I know them. And now it's like when you say these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know these areas, these communities. It really is a special place.
Yeah, it's a special place.
So, but okay, let's talk about some of the special spots because you mentioned the secrets or the hot spots. And, I'm going to have to invite you Frisbee golf sometime or someone else to find out that secret. But you said Walnut. Let's talk about some of the hot spots. Where, if you're getting out somewhere, where is it to? Like, where do you love to eat or grab a coffee or take Paige on a nice date, something like that? Yeah.
Good question. Let's see. I'm gonna enjoy traveling on some of our beautiful bicycle paths to downtown. It depends if my kids are with me. I love cow tie.
Oh yeah,
for lunch.
Yeah. Right there on Broadway, folks, just past Arapahoe, right?
I love an outdoor board game with a friend at the new outdoor seating at the Mountain Sun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. And then if I'm with my kids, it's probably going to be, we're probably going to stick closer to the Gun Barrel area. We might go to Sancho's.
Nice.
Or Yurihana.
Okay, never been.
But if we go downtown in Boulder, I'm going to try to veer away from some of the food spots, some of the special spots. You know what I love doing with my kids? And I don't know how many other of your listeners or your guests are part of this or what they think about it. But I love taking my kids on the Thursday night cruiser ride.
Okay.
In the bicycle.
Okay.
It's during the warmer months. It's a weekly. I love costumes.
Yes.
We've outfitted our garage for that very reason. It's a professional expense. And I love the music. I love the community. I love the costuming. And then we stop at a park and we dance for a little bit. And then I take my kids home to bed. And then they're
so cool.
Cranky the next day.
And they're cranky because they stayed up too late.
Mm-hmm.
And then Paige is like, why did you take them? I told you they'd be cranky. And you're like, because it was important. We had to do it.
Well, yeah, once in a while.
Did that sound like it was personal out of my own life also? No, that's all. That's a great, and you know what? So you brought up the cruiser ride. This is one of those things that when I first moved here, it was just on the radar. People were like, we have to do this cruiser ride. And then you brought it up. One other person, Dana D from Walnut Cafe. Nice. She loves it. And it reminded me I have to get out there and join it because it's been too long.
Yeah.
And the kids would love it too. So, okay, that's fun. Did you leave anything off the list if you're going through that? Like some of your favorite spots or those
tubing Boulder Creek.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Where do you put in and what's that time of year? Like as soon as it lets you, as soon as it's
well, actually we have a spot right on that stream by our house.
Oh yeah.
So we can tube and we're not supposed to, but we've tubed through the Boulder Country Club over to the King Supers and Gun Barrel.
Oh no way.
My son and I.
Good for you.
So there's that little stream, but it's an irrigation ditch, so it only flows enough in June and July.
June, July.
If I'm going to tube Boulder Creek proper, it's usually going to be on Tube to Work Day.
Tube to Work Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Down.
Something everybody should put in their calendar, Tube to Work Day. Because you know what you just made me remember too is that I immediately think, Boulder Creek. But one of the things that a lot of people don't know is all those irrigation ditches run everywhere. And we have one in our backyard and it probably connects to yours. And we have, the farmer's ditch, all these all over Silver. We talked about Silver Creek Ditch. There's all these spots that are actually kind of almost more fun to tube.
Yeah.
Because you're at a chill pace. It's not intimidating. You're just floating.
Yeah.
You're not racing.
Yeah, and I'm very happy sitting anywhere on Pearl Street Mall.
Okay.
The coffee. I love a late night burger and fries at the Pearl Street Pub. You ever go there?
I haven't been.
Okay. It's an institution.
I need to go.
Yeah.
How have I missed this?
West End of Pearl, 11th and Pearl.
Yeah, 11th and Pearl. Okay.
If you and Amanda or just Michael happen to be out late, that's
the spot.
It's the Boulder food spot late night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And part of it is I haven't achieved late night status for a while, but the other part of that is we were just talking about how we don't feel like Boulder has enough late night. So maybe I've overlooked that.
Yeah. Good fries.
Good fries. Okay. And then, all right. And then, because you were bringing up the kids, but we're going to kind of come to that. I do. Well, no, let's do this now. And you can include, because this is, I think, a fun little transition.
Okay.
Give us this start to finish. You pick one day of the week. Doesn't matter. And it could be you and Paige, Wolf Alice, kids, dogs, anything you want. What is a perfect day in Boulder County for Jeff? Any time of year, you can just kind of put it together and walk us through, and it can be as specific as you want. I'm trying to buy you time in case you need to.
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start my perfect day actually.
Yep. With
a Jeff and Paige show.
Okay.
Because it feels so connected to Boulder for me.
Okay.
So let's say we're gonna do a morning show. It's got to be outdoors. Let's say we're going to do a morning show just east of the library. There's a lovely lawn. I'm going to leave my house. I'm going to set up all the sound gear. We're going to do a kids concert. And people always ask why our kids aren't with us. And they make it really difficult. So they're home with a sitter, and we've extended maybe by an hour so that we can get lunch. In this case, we're going to go to the tea house.
Nice.
And then it's such a beautiful fall day in this hypothetical scenario you've created, and now my mind is swirling with yellows and oranges. We're going to go home, and we're going to walk around the Twin Lakes near our home.
Okay.
We're going to play in our backyard. Maybe then we're going to take a bike ride into Gun Barrel.
Love it.
Have a family dinner, and then we're gonna, let's see.
Where's the dinner while we're imagining this?
We're going to Sancho's.
That's
the
Mexican.
family win.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then we're gonna come home, and we're gonna give the kids a bath, and everybody's gonna be so happy in the tub. Both kids will be in the big tub together.
Beautiful.
With the bubbles, and then everybody's gonna go to sleep so gently and beautifully, including me.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm out by 9:00.
Okay.
In this scenario.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. So, I mean, how cool is that too? That this I think should help people understand how cool your job is, your Jeff and Paige gig, the performances is that it's the first thing on your perfect day. And I think that's just magical.
I do love it.
There should be some good gratitude every day to be grateful because it is. I mean, it's fun, and I'm not like trying to be your biggest fan here, but I think that it's really a special thing that you provide for everyone. So a lot of people get the joy, and then you get it as well.
We get it. We're well fed by it too. I love it indeed. But it does. You know, we used to do it every single day during the warm months. And I can remember when our son was 2 and, you know, I was putting on the rainbow socks and he knew that meant a sitter was coming and he was screaming. And I was just like, this is too much. So this is where some of Paige's genius has come in. She's helped us vision and chart a way to, you know, and say, you know what, this is fun. The costumes are great. The vision, the messages of the music, but we also need to be a viable business. Yeah. And so, becoming a nonprofit and seeking grant funding, operational support, foundational support, and then just individual giving and business sponsors as well. And it's been like a huge, huge lift to be able to work the right amount. And I know I'm very privileged to be able to say that, but I feel like I have a beautiful balance right now in my work, my family, my marriage, the balance. And
that's so good.
Yeah, if you'd asked me 3 days ago, I'd say I was out of balance, but right now it feels like good. Everything is flowing nicely.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, and tell me, because I'm not very musical by practice or natural talents, but it seems like the harmony, that's where you have it, right? I mean, you have everything in good harmony, right? The what you just described. Maybe it's not.
That's nice.
I don't know. The balance is, to me, sometimes balance is like, well, do I keep it balanced? But you said 3 days ago, but it harmonizes well, right? It blends well.
Yeah. We're always looking for it, aren't we?
Yes, that is true. We are trying to keep it there because just get out of tune or out of balance, we got to get it back in.
I like thinking about that as a little tuning peg on a guitar. I'm like, I'm a little out.
Yep. There you go.
Little shifts.
For sure. Well, this is too cool. I honestly could probably talk for another 20 minutes, but I want to ask you this.
Sure.
Instead of, maybe it is 20 minutes. You knew you were coming on and you knew that I was going to ask you some questions. And I always like to run this by because I do a pretty poor job of covering everything that I'd like to. Is there something that you were thinking we were going to talk about that I left off the topic list here and haven't addressed?
Good question. One of your questions that gave me the most pause, I think, was what do I wish I had known?
Yes, and
if I'd lived in Boulder. Mm-hmm. I only bring that up because that's the one that stumped me the most. So that's, and I think it would be going back to what I said earlier. Now that I think about it, it's just like commit to this place.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Don't worry about where it's going to take you.
Okay.
And as a result, I feel like I live in this town fully. I've seen so many children, but they've given the energy right back to me. It's kind of the same thing as a performer and an audience, where the performer is giving energy, but the audience is giving it back.
That's so true.
So the best shows that you go to is one where there's that connection between audience and performer. And I can tell you, we feel that too. Like when I see a kid, you know, it might be a 2-year-old in a diaper, but just rocking out, or it might be something as simple as a dad, like fully just in full presence looking at us during a show and nodding or smiling back at me, and that changes the show itself. So I just feel like this place and its openness, its access to nature, its access to bicycle trails, and its access to good, beautiful families and people has been the perfect seat for us to become who we are today. I don't know what this would have been like if I'd started Jeff and Paige in Cincinnati or Fort Lauderdale or something.
Or somewhere else. Well, I tell you what, it's special, and that's really well said, Jeff. Just thinking about it, I think too, for others, embrace and fully commit to Boulder, and the way that, because that's kind of what you committed to the community, to everything that you just described, and it's given you so much, and you've given back. It really, like your shows, it's symbiotic. It's give, take, it's flow in and out, and I think that the community is absolutely 100% better for your and Paige's presence here.
Thank you.
Of course, absolutely true.
When I think about that too, it's the community. It's the same thing with the community as a whole. Like, we've given a lot to the community, but it has given back to us.
Yeah.
Families, great partnerships with our city organizations, and long-standing connections with libraries and principals over the years. And just like, I feel very reciprocal with this county and this community.
Yeah.
And Jeff and Paige aren't going anywhere.
Good.
I will tell you, I don't know if you know this,
Please
but our seat is based here, but we are in the process of developing a children's environmental ed television show with Colorado PBS 12.
Oh my gosh.
And we have the producer who's local, and we're doing this.
That's fantastic.
We're doing this. We're going to be filming at some point in March or April of this year. So
wow,
that's
good for
really
you.
exciting
Congratulations.
to me. Yeah.
That's huge. So you're going to get to share everything that you've created here and continue to create all over Colorado.
Exactly, yeah. We won't be traveling. We'll still be doing all of our shows here, but
beautiful.
Maybe we'll get to broadcast our messages far and wide
That's
without
so
having
cool.
to travel outside of Boulder County.
Well done. I love you. Thank you for sharing that. That's super cool. Congratulations.
I'm really excited about that. We've wanted to do it for a very long time.
Good for you. I'm proud of you guys.
Thanks, Michael.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I can also ask this, if there's, because we did have some things, and I'm glad you brought that question up, but anything else you want to share with everyone before we say hasta luego? And it's okay to say no, because you've said a lot of great stuff.
I've said a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel I'd feel remiss if I didn't mention that our nonprofit Rainbow Socks is we're in the midst of our end of year giving campaign, and we always love any tips on grants or individual support. And I'd be even more remiss if I didn't do our ooh ah ah. Would you mind?
Oh, absolutely, you should.
Ooh ah ah, ooh ah ah. We're hiking somos, exploradores somos, exploradores ooh ah ah, ooh ah. I've been podcasting. No.
That's so good.
This mic is nice. I like these headphones.
Yes. Oh, great sound. That's it. You guys. I don't even know how to conclude after that. But I will say, please go find. What's the website they should go to?
jeffandpaige.org is kind of the repository if you want to learn about our nonprofit, but if you want to learn about our upcoming shows or stream our 7 albums or watch hundreds of YouTube
buy the
videos.
Merch. Get the YouTube. You guys do it. jeffandpaige.org. It's incredible. And dude, I think if you guys haven't gone to the shows, if you haven't donated, if you haven't contributed, if you haven't become a member, if you haven't been a fan like I have, do it. Follow them on Instagram. Also super fun.
Yep.
You'll see the garage. I saw those costumes. I follow. I think I hit a heart. But
Thank you for watching that.
Of course. It was cool. I love that stuff. Organization and costumes. So listen, this has been super fun, Jeff, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come over here and share your story with me.
Likewise, it is a treat to get to just ramble on about myself for a while. So thanks for having me to your basement.
Of course, yeah. Next time, we'll me, Amanda, and Paige will go to the Boulder Pearl Street Pub.
Pearl Street Pub.
We'll grab some late night food and catch up, because it's been a super treat, and I don't want to have it be the last little conversation that we have. So
I agree. I enjoy chatting with you.
Let's do it again soon. So awesome. Thanks again, folks. We appreciate you guys being here listening to us. And I'll say, as I always do, please, before the next episode, go out there and do something that you love.